Imagine a world not yet our own. A world bathed in the same sun, but spinning through a different chapter of Earth's story. 125,000 years ago, Europe was covered in vast forests, home to giant elephants, enormous deer, and powerful cave lions. And among them walked the Neanderthals, our closest extinct relatives. For too long, we've pictured them as brutish cave dwellers, a failed experiment in evolution. But the real story is written in the earth itself, in stone, soil, and fossilized bone. To uncover it, we must become detectives of deep time, piecing together clues from a world we can never visit. The Neanderthal story is an epic misunderstood for centuries. We saw them as a primitive prologue to our own grand entrance. But what if they were more like us than we ever imagined? The stage for our story is set in what is now Germany. A small group of Neanderthals moves with purpose through dense undergrowth. They are powerfully built, keenly aware of their environment, and planning for the future. Their greatest tool is knowledge, passed down through generations. Our journey into their world begins with a realization. Everything changes. Stars are born and die, continents drift, species emerge and disappear. Our understanding of the past is constantly evolving. Every new discovery is like a new star, illuminating what was once dark. The story of the Neanderthals at Neumark Nord is one of these new lights. It challenges our assumptions and invites us to look again at these ancient relatives. It asks us to see them not as dim-witted brutes, but as a successful and intelligent branch of the human family tree. Their story is deeply intertwined with our own. Let's step into their world. In central Germany, near Neumark Nord, scientists unearthed a remarkable window into this lost world. Once the shore of a shallow lake, it became a hub for Neanderthal activity. Archaeologists found tens of thousands of bone fragments and hundreds of expertly crafted flint tools. This wasn't just a random scatter of remains, it was a prehistoric puzzle box. The tools were specialized: sharp flakes for cutting, choppers for breaking bone, scrapers for cleaning hides. Neanderthals here were master artisans of stone. The soil was darkened with ancient campfires, evidence of controlled fire and large-scale cooking. Dating revealed the site was 125,000 years old, firmly in Neanderthal time. But what truly shocked researchers was the scale and complexity of the operation. This wasn't a simple kill site. It was a dedicated processing center, an ancient factory. The bones belonged mostly to giant straight-tusked elephants. The bones were systematically shattered, especially the long marrow-rich ones. This wasn't just about meat. The Neanderthals were after something hidden deep inside: fat. They were harvesting fat on an industrial scale. This was a Neanderthal fat factory. The evidence pointed to organization, planning, and a deep understanding of their resources. Neumark Nord wasn't just a camp. It was a testament to Neanderthal ingenuity. Here, they turned survival into strategy, and the clues were everywhere. Why go to such lengths for fat? In the Neanderthal world, calories were everything. Their lives were physically demanding, especially during cold winters. Lean meat alone can be deadly. Too much protein, not enough fat, leads to starvation. Neanderthals instinctively knew fat was the superfuel, energy-dense, long-lasting, and essential for survival. Large animals like elephants and deer were relatively lean. The real prize was marrow and bone grease. By processing bones, Neanderthals could store fat for leaner times. This was strategic planning, not just a single meal. They targeted the largest, oldest animals for maximum fat yield. This shows a sophisticated approach to hunting and resource management. They weren't just scavengers, they were expert hunters and butchers. Their survival depended on fat, and they knew exactly how to get it. The fat factory was their insurance policy against the harshest seasons. It was a calculated communal effort. Fat was their currency of survival. How did they do it? The process at Neumark Nord was prehistoric engineering at its finest. First, they butchered the massive carcass, removing meat and organs. Then, they separated the heavy limb bones, the richest sources of marrow. Using stone anvils and hammers, they cracked bones open with precision. Marrow was scooped out for immediate use or storage. But they didn't stop there. Even after the marrow was gone, bone fragments still held valuable fat. They likely boiled these fragments in hide-lined pits, using hot stones to render out the grease. The fat would rise to the surface, cool, and solidify into tallow. This could be stored for weeks or months. The process was complex, multi-stepped, and required patience and skill. It was a true recipe for survival. passed down through generations. Neanderthals mastered the art of extracting every last calorie. The scale at Neumark Nord sets it apart. Archaeologists estimate at least 70 elephants were processed here over centuries. This suggests large groups, or multiple groups, working together. The site was organized like a factory, butchering in one area, cooking in another. This spatial separation shows logical planning and efficiency. Such organization implies communication, cooperation, and shared purpose. Hunting and processing an elephant required teamwork and specific roles. Neanderthals returned to this site again and again, passing knowledge down generations. They had a mental map of their territory, with key locations for vital activities. The fat factory was a cornerstone of their economic and social life. This was not the work of aimless wanderers, but of a community with memory and strategy. Neumark Nord was a hub of Neanderthal ingenuity. The Neumark Nord discovery forces us to rewrite the Neanderthal story. For too long, they were seen as primitive and inferior. But this site is older than any similar one linked to early modern humans. Neanderthals were already practicing complex food processing and long-term planning. This challenges the idea that they went extinct due to lack of intelligence. They thrived for hundreds of thousands of years, showing resilience and adaptability. Their extinction was not a simple case of being outcompeted. We now see two intelligent human species sharing the planet. Only one remains, but both shaped our story. The fat factory is just one piece of the Neanderthal puzzle. Across Europe, we find evidence of art, jewelry, and symbolic thought, perforated shells, eagle talon pendants. Neanderthals created birch bark tar, a synthetic adhesive, and used it to craft advanced hunting weapons. They even made string, 3-ply cord from plant fibers, a foundational technology. These discoveries reveal a people with culture, technology, and abstract thought. They cared for their sick and elderly, and may have had burial rituals. The old stereotype of the brutish caveman dissolves. Neanderthals were deeply connected to their world, with a sophisticated mental toolkit. They had language, culture, and innovation. In so many ways, they were just like us. Their genius was hidden, but it's now coming to light. The Neanderthal mind was far richer than we ever imagined. The evidence from Neumark Nord is a distant mirror reflecting ourselves. Like us, Neanderthals built supply chains, processed resources, and planned for the future. The challenges of life, food, shelter, community, remain unchanged. Their cooperation and innovation echo our own. Genetic studies show most modern humans outside Africa carry Neanderthal DNA. Their story is part of ours. Their legacy lives on within us. This realization inspires humility and connection. For most of history, Earth was home to multiple intelligent hominins. We were not alone. The ingenuity of Neanderthals reminds us our path was not the only one. Their success and disappearance are powerful lessons. They were here for hundreds of thousands of years, and yet they are gone. Their story is a lesson from the cosmos. Why does a 125,000-year-old butcher shop matter? It deepens our understanding of who we are and where we come from. Discoveries like Neumark Nord transform our view of human evolution. They show culture, innovation, and foresight are not exclusive to Homo sapiens. The Neanderthals are our closest connection to a different way of being human. By studying them, we learn what is fundamental to all humans. The story of the Neanderthal fat factory is one of ingenuity, community, and survival. The tools have changed, but the spirit of exploration remains. As we explore our world and beyond, we carry their legacy with us. Their story helps illuminate our way forward, connecting us all in one great human journey.